So good morning everyone. So today we will learn about disorders of cholesterol metabolism. So the learning objectives of today's class are, at the end of this class, we shall be able to define hypercholesterolemia, recall causes of hypercholesterolemia, explain diagnosis of hypercholesterolemia, define atherosclerosis, explain consequences of atherosclerosis, explain symptoms of atherosclerosis, heart attack and stroke, recall treatment of hypercholesterolemia and atherosclerosis, and define fatty liver, recall symptoms of fatty liver, recall causes of fatty liver, define different types of fatty liver, define different stages of fatty liver, explain treatment of fatty liver, and explain prevention of fatty liver. That is in short. So today we will discuss about three major disorders: hypercholesterolemia, atherosclerosis, and fatty liver disease. Okay. So firstly, hypercholesterolemia. So the normal serum cholesterol concentration is 150 to 220 milligram per deciliter. Okay. So hypercholesterolemia is the term that is used to refer to a high blood cholesterol level. So that is above 220 milligram per deciliter is considered to be high. The patient with suffering from hypercholesterolemia, that is higher amounts of cholesterol. So a cholesterol level that is too high can cause a risk of coronary artery disease. Okay. So cholesterol is circulated in blood attached to transport proteins referred to as lipoproteins that we have discussed in your previous class during transport of cholesterol. So there are 5 major lipoproteins as we have discussed: chylomicrons, very low density lipoproteins, intermediate density lipoproteins, low density lipoproteins, and high density lipoproteins. So low density lipoproteins carries cholesterol from liver to various parts of the body. So if there is an excess of LDL, cholesterol can accumulate in the walls of arteries and lead to a condition known as atherosclerosis. We'll discuss about atherosclerosis in detail in future slides. And so since this LDL, higher amounts of low LDL can cause a disease, so it is considered to be bad cholesterol. High density lipoprotein on the other hand carries excess of cholesterol away from the cells to liver, where it is broken down and treated as a waste product and eliminated. So since it lowers the higher excess cholesterol level and eliminates the excess cholesterol level, it is considered to be good cholesterol. So high cholesterol concentration or hypercholesterolemia is found in cases of in people with diabetes mellitus, nephrotic syndrome, obstructive jaundice, familial hypercholesterolemia, and biliary cirrhosis, and hypothyroidism. So in these conditions, so there is a higher possibility that the cholesterol metabolism might be affected and the patient might suffer from higher cholesterol levels. Okay. So how hypercholesterolemia is diagnosed? Hypercholesterolemia is does not usually present any symptoms unless it aggravates to atherosclerosis or stroke or heart attack. So the only way to check for the condition is to check blood cholesterol level, so which is we are going to refer it as a lipid profile test. Okay. So the test typically includes a check for the total cholesterol, LDL cholesterol, HDL cholesterol, and triglyceride levels. A total cholesterol level above 200 milligram per deciliter is considered to be high, and an HDL below 40 milligram per deciliter is generally considered to be poor level. Okay. So hypercholesterolemia, so hypocholesteremia. So hypocholesterolemia means opposite to that of hypercholesterolemia, that is low cholesterol concentration. So this is mainly observed in situations which are opposite to that of hypercholesterolemia, like hyperthyroidism, malnutrition, malabsorption, anemia, and physiologically lower levels are found in children commonly, and persons on cholesterol lowering drugs. Okay, so in these conditions, so the patient will be suffering from lower levels of cholesterol, and that condition is known as hypocholesterolemia. Okay, so the next thing is atherosclerosis. So what are arteries? Arteries are the blood vessels that carry oxygen-rich blood to heart and other parts of the body. Okay, so atherosclerosis is a disease in which the plaque builds up inside the arteries. So it is a consequence of hypercholesterolemia. Okay, it is a consequence of hypercholesterolemia. So here the plaque is made up of fat, cholesterol, calcium, and other substances. Okay, so the plaque that builds up will be made up of fat, cholesterol, calcium, and other substances that are found in the blood. Okay, so over the time the plaque hardens and narrows the arteries. So this limits the flow of oxygen-rich blood to organs and other parts of the body, which is the primary thing that is required for an organ or a tissue for its survival. So atherosclerosis can lead to serious problems, including heart attack, stroke, and even death. Okay, so here you have this. So this is the artery. So in normal condition, so the blood will be flowing freely through the arteries. Okay, in case of atherosclerosis, what happens? So the arterial wall will be covered, or on the arterial wall the fat starts building up. Due to that, what happens? There is narrowing of arteries. This leads to higher blood pressure as well as lesser amount of blood reaching, and if there is complete blockage, then the condition is called as so that can lead to myocardial infarction or stroke. Okay, we will see different types of atherosclerosis. Before that, we will watch a video on this.
3 layers are seen. Arteriosclerosis. There is an apparent coronary artery network in the human heart. On a zoomed view of one of the coronary arteries, 3 layers are seen. These are tunica externa on the outer, tunica muscularis in the middle, and tunica interna layer at the inner. When cholesterol, found as LDL molecule in the blood, is carried at high levels for a long time, these cholesterol molecules precipitate on the artery's surface. Then it leaks through the gaps of the epithelial cells. They form a deposit in between the tunica interna and the tunica muscularis layers. This fatty deposit is called plaque. As the plaque grows bigger, spreading in the artery, it bulges in the lumen, forming a lump, and this reduces blood flow. This is called atherosclerosis, also known as hardening of the arteries. With time, epithelial cells may split at a point. This situation activates platelets and enables the formation of fibrin thread. Clot forms as a result. This clot is known as thrombus and prevents the blood flow in the arteries.
I'm extremely sorry for that. Okay, so that was the animation about atherosclerosis that gave you a brief introduction about atherosclerosis. Okay, so when the plaque forms, so that leads to various types of diseases, not only in heart but different parts of our body. So we will look into those different disorders. One such is what we call very common type of disease, that is the outcome of atherosclerosis, is a coronary heart disease, or we also call that as a coronary artery disease. Okay, so what are these coronary arteries? They supply oxygen-rich blood to heart. So plaques build up in the coronary arteries because of atherosclerosis, and these plaques narrow the coronary arteries and reduce blood flow to the heart muscles. The buildup of these plaques makes it more likely that the blood clots will form in arteries, and these blood clots can partially or completely block the blood flow, that we saw in the animation. Okay, so once the blood, that is clots will form, so and when there is insufficient blood flow to the heart, so the person will suffer from a condition known as hypoxia. So lack of oxygen. So due to that, what happens is the tissue, heart tissue or the organ where the blood has to be supplied and it is not being supplied, so it will start dying. Okay, so if the blood flow to heart is reduced, the patient suffers from angina. So that is chest pain or discomfort. Okay, so if blood flow to heart muscle is blocked, then the patient will suffer from heart attack. What medically we call it that condition as myocardial infarction or MI. So plaque also can form in the heart's smallest arteries, and this disease is called as coronary microvascular disease. So the positive thing about this MVD is that plaque does not cause blockages in the arteries as it does in coronary heart disease. Okay. So the next thing is carotid artery disease. Carotid arteries are present on each side of the neck. They supply oxygen-rich blood to brain. So if plaque builds up in carotid arteries, so the blood flow to the brain is reduced or blocked. Okay, so the patient may suffer from stroke. So that is a condition what we call it as paralysis or stroke. Okay, so then one more disorder due to atherosclerosis is peripheral artery disease. So this is the peripheral arteries, so the major arteries that supply oxygen-rich blood to legs, arms, and pelvis. Okay, so if the plaques build up in these arteries, so the blood flow to these parts of the body is reduced or blocked. Okay, so the patient will suffer from numbness, pain, and sometimes due to lack of oxygen supply, dangerous infections might crop up. So, and one more disease due to atherosclerosis is chronic kidney disease. We call it as CKD. So major function of kidneys is to remove waste and extra water from the body. So there are other functions that we have discussed. So renal arteries supply oxygen-rich blood to the kidneys. So the plaque builds up in the, if the plaque builds up in the renal arteries, then over the time the patient will suffer from chronic kidney disease which causes slow loss of kidney functions. So which is very, very dangerous and fatal. Okay, so these are the different diseases that can crop up due to atherosclerosis, that is coronary artery disease, and then carotid artery disease, and peripheral artery disease, and chronic kidney disease. Okay, what are the causes of atherosclerosis? So high cholesterol, unhealthy diet, aging, family history, lack of exercise, high blood pressure, smoking, and diabetes. Okay, so here if you can look into this, so these like unhealthy diet and lack of exercise and smoking. So these are lifestyle disorders. Okay, nearly 30% of the causative factors are because of our lifestyle. So if we improve our lifestyle, so we will age better. Okay, we can overcome the family history issue. Okay, and we can control our blood pressure, we can control our diabetes. So our lifestyle change can bring in a positive effect on atherosclerosis. Okay, so high cholesterol. So if the levels of cholesterol in the blood are too high, it can clog the arteries. That is, it can block the arteries. So it can block the blood circulation to heart and other organs, and it can cause the diseases, various diseases that we just discussed. Okay, so diet. So unhealthy diet here is which can lead to atherosclerosis is sugar in food, high salt, unhealthy fats. Okay, healthy diet includes fruits and vegetables which can avoid atherosclerosis, whole grains, low fat dairy products, poultry and fish without skin. If you are a non-vegetarian, it is not compulsory to eat non-vegetarian. Nuts and legumes. Okay, non-tropical vegetable oils, olive oil or sunflower oil can reduce cholesterol level. Okay, so if a person is non-vegetarian, so he should prefer eating without skin and what we call it as white meat. So aging, one more factor, aging, that is as we pass through the age, our body system starts degrading, so our enzymes will start degrading, our metabolism, our metabolic ability starts degrading. So due to that, what happens is the heart and blood vessels will work harder to pump and receive blood because it is also the internal organs are also aging. So the arteries may weaken and become less elastic and make them more susceptible to plaque buildup. Okay, so that is why after certain age we need we need to take our parents and for a regular health checkup to a cardiologist, a diabetologist, at least once in a year, preferably twice in a year. So it is our duty to take care of elders. So family history. So people with family history are at the risk for hardening of arteries and other heart related problems. Lack of exercise. So if regular exercise is good for heart, so you need to exercise it, and it keeps the heart muscle strong and encourages oxygen and blood flow throughout the body. So living a sedentary lifestyle increases the risk for a host of medical conditions including heart disease. Okay, so high blood pressure can damage blood vessels by making them weak in some areas. So cholesterol and other substances in blood may reduce the flexibility of arteries over the time. Okay, smoking causes so many diseases. So I suggest don't smoke or don't have any bad habits like drinking, smoking, narcotics. Not at all good. So they damage blood vessels and heart. They have the ability to cause cancer as well. Okay, diabetes. People with diabetes have much higher incidence of coronary artery disease. Okay, what are the symptoms of atherosclerosis? So most of the symptoms of atherosclerosis don't show up until the blockage occurs. Okay, so once the plaque has formed, more than 60% of the plaque has formed, the person will suffer from angina. So that is after working or after an exercise or working, he will start feeling chest pain or severe sweating. Okay, so atherosclerosis in other parts can cause pain in leg, arm, anywhere else that has blocked an artery. Okay, so there will be shortness of breath, fatigue, confusion which occurs if the blockage affects the circulation in brain in case of stroke, muscle weakness in legs from lack of circulation if the arteries are blocked to other parts of the body. Okay, so what is heart attack, or what we call it as myocardial infarction? So chest pain or discomfort. It begins with chest pain. The symptoms of heart attack are chest pain or discomfort, pain in the shoulders, back, neck, arms and jaw, abdominal pain, shortness of breath, perspiration, lightheadedness, nausea or vomiting. Okay, so the symptoms of stroke include weakness or numbness in the face or limbs. The person will have trouble speaking, trouble understanding the speech. So there will be vision problems, because in case of stroke the blood supply is blocked to the central nervous system. So loss of balance, sudden or severe headache. So these are the symptoms of stroke. So you can see there is difference in the symptoms of heart attack and stroke. Okay. What is the treatment of all these conditions? So changing current lifestyle to decrease the amount of fat and cholesterol is the primary treatment and preventive measure that a person can take. Exercise more to improve the health of the heart and blood vessels. So this is the best thing. So rather than taking medication, a healthy diet will definitely help to avoid these conditions. Medications, cholesterol lowering agents, so they carry many side effects. So better you change your lifestyle before these things crop up. Antihypertensive agents, diuretics, anticoagulants and antiplatelet drugs in case of blockages are prescribed. Okay, so this is about atherosclerosis. In summary, so plaque buildup and subsequent hardening of arteries will restrict blood flow in the arteries. Okay, so this will prevent organs and tissues from getting the oxygenated blood so that they need for function and the survival of those tissues and organs. So preventive measures are exercise, eating healthy diet and adopting healthy lifestyle. Okay, what are the causes? High cholesterol, unhealthy diet, aging, family history, lack of exercise, high blood pressure, smoking and diabetes. So the treatment is, so the person can go for a surgery like bypass surgery, angioplasty, endarterectomy, atherectomy. So here, by these processes they can remove the excess cholesterol. Okay. So endarterectomy involves surgically removing fatty deposits from artery, and atherectomy involves removing plaque from arteries by using catheter with a sharp blade at one end. Okay. So these are the reference that I have used to prepare a presentation of atherosclerosis and hypercholesterolemia. Okay, so happy learning. So some tips. So what is this? What does this show? What do you understand by the image? Okay, so exercise improves your memory and ability to learn. So even exercise helps in learning. So it activates our subconscious brain and it removes negativity and it refreshes our and it creates enthusiasm in learning. Okay, so happy learning. So and after 5 minutes we will discuss fatty liver disease. Okay. Fatty liver disease, slide show current. So this is there are two images of liver. So this is an healthy liver, and you have TS microscopic structure of liver tissue as well, and unhealthy liver. So here, so there is higher amount of cholesterol built up in the unhealthy liver. So this is depicted in yellow color. In fact, it will have different color patterns practically. So yellow color indicating higher amounts of cholesterol levels. So here you can see in the transfer section slide of unhealthy liver. So there is a white spots. So these white spots are because of higher amount of cholesterol and triglycerides and different lipids. Okay. So today we will learn about a fatty liver disease. So liver is the second largest organ in the body. So it helps to process nutrients from food, drinks, and it filters harmful substances from blood. So it has small amounts of fat in your body. That is it. Small amounts of fat in liver is normal, but too much of it will cause health issues that lead to a condition known as fatty liver. Okay, so too much of liver causes liver inflammation and can create scarring. In severe cases, this scarring can lead to liver failure, where the doctors may prefer for a liver transplantation. Okay, so what are the symptoms of fatty liver? So fatty liver does not come up with noticeable symptoms usually. So the patient may feel tired and he can experience discomfort or pain in the upper right side of the abdomen. So some people with fatty liver disease develop complications including the scarring of liver. So liver scarring is known as liver fibrosis. Okay. So it is known as cirrhosis. So cirrhosis may cause symptoms such as loss of appetite, weight loss, weakness, fatigue, nosebleed, itchy skin, web-like clusters of blood vessels under the skin, abdominal pain, abdominal swelling, swelling of legs, breast enlargement in men, and confusion. Okay, so there are so many symptoms, but most of them are common with other diseases as well. So that is why this fatty liver disease is a little bit difficult to diagnose. It needs an expert clinician. So types of fatty liver disease. So there are two major types. One is non-alcoholic fatty liver disease and alcoholic fatty liver disease. Non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, so there are further 2 to 3 types. So simple non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, so that is called as NAFLD, referred as non-alcoholic steatohepatitis, NASH, NASH. Alcoholic fatty liver of pregnancy, AFLP, LP, these two are very common, the first and second, NAFLD and NASH, whereas AFLP is very rare. Alcoholic fatty liver disease, so this is due to excessive drinking of alcohol. So again there are 2 types, simple alcoholic fatty liver disease referred as AFLD and alcoholic steatohepatitis referred as ASH. Simple non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. Non-alcoholic fatty liver disease occurs when fat builds up in liver of people who don't drink a lot of alcohol. Okay, so that is why it is called as non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. So this occurs in people who don't drink excessive alcohol. If there is no inflammation or other complication along with the buildup of fat, the condition is known as simple non-alcoholic fatty liver. Okay, so non-alcoholic steatohepatitis. So here there will be buildup of excess of fat in liver and it is accompanied by inflammation of liver. So in that case it is called as non-alcoholic steatohepatitis. Okay, acute fatty liver of pregnancy, this is a rare, so the fat that builds up in liver in case during pregnancy, this is a rare but a very serious complication of pregnancy. So the exact cause is not known, and this happens mostly during the 3rd trimester of pregnancy, and if this is left unattended or untreated, so it can cause health risk to both mother and growing baby. Okay, so delivery of baby as soon as possible is preferred. Okay, so after delivery, follow-up care for several days is required. Then health will likely to return to normal after a few weeks of delivery. Okay. So then fatty liver disease. So the major cause of this fatty liver disease is excessive consumption of alcohol. Okay. So excessive consumption of alcohol damages the liver. So the liver can't break down fat. This can cause fat to build up, which is known as alcoholic fatty liver. And alcoholic fatty liver disease is the earliest stage of alcohol-related liver disease. Okay, so it is the earliest stage of alcohol-related liver disease. Okay, so if there is no inflammation or other complication along with the buildup of fat, the condition is known as simple alcoholic fatty liver disease. And if there is inflammation, so if the alcoholic fatty liver disease is accompanied by inflammation, then it is called as alcoholic steatohepatitis. Okay. So this is also known as alcoholic hepatitis, and if this is not treated, then it will cause scarring of liver leading to cirrhosis of liver. Okay, the scarring of liver is known as what? Cirrhosis. Okay, so cirrhosis of liver will ultimately lead to liver failure if it is not treated. To treat alcoholic fatty liver, so the first thing is the patient should avoid alcohol or he should stop drinking alcohol. So what are the different stages of this fatty liver disease? So depending upon the aggravation or the progress of disease, this is categorized into 4 different stages. So simple fatty liver, so there is buildup of excess fat in the liver, but there will be no further complications visible. So steatohepatitis, in addition to excess fat, there will be inflammation in liver. Third stage, fibrosis, inflammation of liver along with scarring. For finally, cirrhosis, scarring of liver will be widespread. So that condition is called as cirrhosis. So this is a very severe condition, and this can lead to fatality, that is death of the patient if it is not treated, or if liver transplantation is not carried out. So what are the risk factors? So drinking high amounts of alcohols, obesity, diabetes, polycystic ovary syndrome, hepatitis C, and certain drugs can also cause fatty liver disease. There are many drugs, few to name them are methotrexate, tamoxifen, amiodarone, and high cholesterol levels and high triglyceride levels are also the risk factors for fatty liver disease. Okay. Treatment. So as of now, there are no medications which have been approved by FDA to treat fatty liver disease. Most of the drugs are just for maintaining the disease at a lower level. So more research is needed to develop and test medications to treat this condition. Okay, so I believe that you people can come up with some new drugs later on when you start carrying out research. And in many cases, lifestyle changes can help reverse fatty liver disease. Okay, so prevention, to prevent fatty liver and its potential complication, it's important to follow a healthy lifestyle. So limit, or the most best thing is avoid alcohol. Stop drinking alcohol, or avoid alcohol, or don't cultivate the habit of drinking alcohol. Maintain a healthy weight. Eat nutrient-rich diet that is low in saturated fats, trans fats, and refined carbohydrates. Control blood sugar, triglyceride levels, and cholesterol levels. Follow your doctor's recommended treatment plan for diabetes if the patient is having, and aim for at least 30 minutes of exercise most of the days of the week. So this will help you to avoid many diseases. Okay. In summary, so there are 2 major types of fatty liver disease: normal fatty liver disease, alcoholic fatty liver disease. So the normal fatty liver disease is categorized into simple non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, non-alcoholic steatohepatitis, acute fatty liver of pregnancy. So here, simple non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, it is a very initial stage and only buildup of fat will be there. No further clinical complications will be visible. In steatohepatitis, it will be accompanied by inflammation of liver, and that can lead to scarring of liver tissues and ultimately cirrhosis. Acute fatty liver of pregnancy is a very rare condition that happens at the trimester of during pregnancy, at the 3rd trimester, at the last stage. So if it is diagnosed, it is better advised to deliver the baby at the earliest, considering gynecologist advice. Alcoholic fatty liver disease, it is a simple alcoholic fatty liver disease and alcoholic steatohepatitis. So these are the 2 different conditions. Again, simple alcoholic fatty liver disease is only accumulation of fat, and this happens mainly due to excessive alcohol consumption. Steatohepatitis is accompanied with fat deposition with inflammation and scarring of liver tissues. Okay. So treatment, so currently there are no medications, so only management. Certain hepatoprotective drugs are prescribed. In many cases, lifestyle changes can reverse fatty liver disease. Okay. So the overall conclusion is that almost all the diseases that are related to lipid metabolism disorders can be managed very well with lifestyle changes and exercise and by proper diet. Okay, so overcoming that, there will be cases we will come across these diseases in spite of that also, and we have treatment in many cases and management in many cases, and we need to be like wise enough, like after certain age we need to be in touch with cardiologist and diabetologist. We need to visit the doctors, these doctors once in a year. We need to take our elders to these doctors at least once in a year, preferably twice in a year. Okay, so these are the things. Finally, my advice is, when you sleep, don't use mobiles or don't play games. Sleep very well, because even healthy sleeping, that is a minimum of 6 hours and maximum of 8 hours of sleeping, will help for brain to process problem solving techniques, unconscious practice, and eliminate toxins, so that can improve your immunity. Okay, so sleep is a very critical thing, and that has to be very optimum, not excess, not less, and don't play games while sleeping. Okay, happy learning to you all. So this completes your chapter lipid metabolism. You have any doubts, you can ask me.